Hey guys, Angie to break down UFC 304, Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad for the welterweight title. This is a really big card. Prelims to the main event, really worth checking out if you're on the fence about this one. I feel like some pay-per-views recently haven't been as quality. This one is quality, so I'm really looking forward to it. We've got two really mega fights, in my opinion. This main event between Leon and Belal, and Tom Aspinall versus Curtis Blaydes, the rematch for the interim heavyweight title. In my opinion, it's the legit thing because John Jones has been out for quite some time now, so I wish they would make it undisputed. But anyway, it's a big fight. Both of them, so yeah. Woo, let's get into it. All right. First fight of the night, we have Arnold Allen and Giga Chikadze. I feel like this fight has flown under the radar a bit. Me, myself, I didn't actually know this was happening until I looked at the card. Both these guys really need a win. They were both really hyped on their way up, like they could be a legit title contender. I feel like Arnold Allen, he is very talented, he is very good, but he hasn't performed up to his potential. Giga, he maybe isn't as well-rounded as what he needs to be to climb to the top 5-ish area. Having said that, I'm not really sure what Giga's ranked right now. Giga is a very good kickboxer, but he probably doesn't have the well-rounded game that he needs to get up there. Also, he had a few holes in his striking against Calvin Kattar in particular, who really exposed him, but that's the boxing style usually goes really well for some reason against really elaborate kickboxers. The simple style, like Sean Strickland versus Israel Adesanya. Giga, he's coming off an injury that's kept him out for at least a year and a half, so it's going to be interesting to see what he looks like now because we really don't know. He won unanimous decision against Alex Caceres. I don't really remember how that fight went, but I think he won that quite dominantly. He had that really bad loss to Calvin Kattar and took a lot of damage. Before that, he TKO'd Edson Barboza, who hasn't looked too bad recently at all. Arnold Allen, he lost a unanimous decision to Movsar Evloev. He lost a unanimous decision to Max Holloway. Both those fights, I feel like it was more of a performance issue. Like he just didn't get going until the later rounds. And I think for Arnold Allen, that's his biggest weakness, is that he doesn't have that. Maybe he just takes a while to adjust, but I feel like he's a better. But he did fight 5 rounds, I think, against Max. So he just doesn't. He needs to get going quicker. This is an interesting matchup because I feel like if Arnold Allen fights with urgency, that may even play into Giga Chikadze's game because Giga is a bit crazy. Arnold Allen probably should win this fight, but I just don't know. I have a feeling Giga could get the upset on this one. I feel like he was really hyped and now he's just gone a bit. People have just forgotten about him and put him on the shelf. And even though Arnold Allen really needs this win too, I feel like Giga probably needs it a bit more because he's 35 and I feel like he has, in some way, I feel like Giga needs this win more than Arnold, in a strange way, but they both really need it. Arnold Allen also, I've written, some of his wins haven't been as legit as what they may seem to be. Like when he beat Dan Hooker was cutting way too much weight and didn't show up and had no vitality or conditioning. And the TKO win over Calvin Kattar, that was an injury that Kattar got. So even Arnold Allen's last 2 wins, you could say, are not all that legit. So there is an argument for that. So I just feel like this fight should be closer. The odds should be a lot closer. I think Giga's a really fun pick if you want to go with the underdog here. I've got a feeling that Giga might pull it off somehow. But technically, skill for skill, Arnold Allen should win this fight. So I've got Giga winning this even by decision or a finish in the later rounds. But I'll go by decision just because I think Arnold Allen is hard to finish. So yeah, Giga by decision. But it's really hard to know because I feel like we haven't seen enough of Chikadze, and Arnold Allen is having a quick turnaround as well. He's been really active, but he's just not been performing. And for me, that's a bit of a problem. If you're having quick turnarounds and you're not performing, but you're not actually getting finished, it really shows that there's a performance problem, and also you don't want to gas out either. So that kind of gives me a bit of concern for Arnold Allen just because he hasn't had enough time to recalibrate, in my opinion. So yeah, I got Giga. Okay, next fight of the night, we have potential future flyweight title eliminator. We have MOKAEV, who is still undefeated, amazingly. I haven't written his age, but I know he's really young, like in his 20s still. I could be wrong. MANEL, he was a hot prospect, but he really struggles with the weight, and that's been his biggest Achilles heel. Yeah, he's been exciting at press conferences, well, annoying, so yeah, he's doing the job. But he just hasn't been able to make weight, and he's had a lot of fight cancellations because of that, so that's been a little disappointing. MOKAEV, he's gone through some adversity and come up on top still, so he's shown a very solid game. Wow, this is an interesting matchup. I have a feeling that Muhammad will get this one, just because I know a lot of flyweights struggle to make weight because there's a lot of tweeners that are maybe, you know, not true flyweights, not true bantamweights, and I feel Manel Kop's one of them. But the moment you start having a lot of struggles, it's never going to get better, I feel like, unless you really, really make something drastically change. But I think Manel Kop's been struggling for a while now. And how old is he? I feel like he's a bit older. Why didn't I write down the ages? Goddammit. I feel like if he's having trouble now, he's not going to be 100% with his conditioning. And I think that's not going to help him against someone like MOKAEV, who can wrestle him and give him a grueling fight. So yeah, I'm picking Muhammad MOKAEV to win this one by decision, I think, even by a submission, but I'll go with decision. Actually, no, I'll go with a submission because I think Manel Kop's going to gas out and then he can submit him. Yeah, so that's what I've got for this one. But I really hope that, you know, Manel Kop even makes the weight. This one's, I think, pretty easy for me. I'll go MOKAEV by submission, maybe in round 2. We've got the featured bout now, Bobby King Green, and what happened to my puffer? And Paddy Pimblett. This is an exciting fight because I think this is a fight that is risky for Paddy because I think on the feet he's got his work cut out for him. Bobby's really good and elusive with the striking. And he's a lot quicker than Paddy, and Paddy's going to struggle. But then again, Paddy's probably going to want to just take him down and try and choke him or submit him some way. I feel like Bobby will just have the speed advantage and he'll move his feet to get out of the way pretty well. Of course, I think this fight, Bobby, though, he is having a quick turnaround, and Paddy's been out since last year, although it's only been 6 months. Paddy has this weird ability to win fights, even if he shouldn't win. Even though it's a step up, I do feel like he could get the sub. I feel like this fight's quite equally matched in a way. The thing about Paddy is that he can take a punch. And if he can take a few punches from Green and then just grab a hold of him, he could easily get a sub. So yeah, actually, I'm going to go with Paddy by submission. It's a good pick to make, a good bet, because he is the underdog right now. I can't see Bobby Green knocking him out just because Paddy has a decent chin. He's not going to get rocked, I don't think, unless I'm forgetting something. I feel like Paddy could take a few punches, grab a hold of him, do a judo throw or something and choke him out. Yeah, I've got Paddy in this one by submission. Although I think it's also a very winnable fight for Bobby. I just feel like because it's Paddy's home crowd and that it'll be difficult for Bobby Green to get this. And also because he's been really active and he is 37 and Paddy's still only 29. I feel like Paddy will find the sub. It's going to be tough though. He's going to have to eat a few shots. All right, the co-main event. This is a really big fight. Yeah, in my opinion, this is the legit heavyweight title. I don't care who the hell you are. If you can't fight actively, then you should be stripped. And I just wish the UFC would treat everything a bit more equally, but whatever. We all know Tom is legit and he is the active heavyweight champion. Let's put it that way. He's the active heavyweight champion. I love both these guys. I feel like Tom's really matured and evolved as a fighter and as a person since he's had his injury. I can see that he's embraced a lot of humility, and with that, he's become a lot more powerful and stronger. And whenever I hear him now, he just seems like he's the legit champion with a very strong belief in himself and a very strong foundation. And he is 100% in. And you just feel it when he talks now. Whereas before, he was a bit more immature and a bit more, I think he just probably took it a bit more for granted. But now you can tell he really doesn't take anything for granted. And that's always easy, you know, whenever you go through an injury or adversity like that, of course, you're more grateful for what you have. Curtis Blaydes, on the other hand, I feel for him because I feel like he could have had a title opportunity on a few occasions, but then they give him someone dangerous like, I don't know, Derek or Pavlovich, and he gets knocked out. Whereas he probably, if he was someone like a Cyril Gane, he would have been pushed to the title but instead they give someone like Cyril Gane like how many opportunities to fight for the belt, whereas Curtis Blaydes, who is probably a better, or is a better mixed martial artist, has to wait and gets pushed back. It makes me a little annoyed, but he gets his opportunity now. He's been in the UFC for almost like 10 years, I think, and I think a lot of people don't realize that. He's such an underrated fighter, a really good person. Obviously, there's some sort of mystery behind him as well, because I feel like I don't really know much about him at all, and you kind of wonder how badly does he want it, because it feels like Tom Aspinall really wants to be champion and he's really embraced it. With Curtis Blaydes, you just don't know what's going on inside his head. Like, I'd love to know. He seems to be a very chill, laid-back guy. You know what, I would absolutely love for him to win, just because I love the underdog story. You know, just the ordinary guy, or the guy that doesn't really stand out as a championship fighter, but he's done all the right things as a sportsman, but maybe not as a star. He doesn't really have that star quality about him, but I just love it when those guys come through. He's just put his head down and done all the work, but he's had a little bit of bad luck, and I would love to see him win, but I also really, really love Tom Aspinall. So it's hard because these are two great men and you just want to see them win, but you really want to see Tom consolidate his legacy. You really want to see him establish himself as the heavyweight champ, but you really want to see Curtis Blaydes finally get on top and right all the wrongs that he's been through. So this is tough as a fan to watch in a way, but it's really exciting, but you just want both guys to win, so may the best man win. I'm really glad this isn't Cyril Gane fighting Tom, because that would have been a very non-competitive fight. Tom would have won that 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 times. So skill for skill, Tom is definitely ahead. He's ahead on the striking, he's ahead on the ground. Although Curtis has stronger wrestling, I think Tom is so good at getting submissions that even if Curtis did take him to the ground, Curtis is going to have to be very careful to keep Tom on the bottom. But Tom is so slick. He's going to have to be careful if he's going to take him to the ground and pound him. But if he stays on the feet, Tom's going to be very quick. Tom's a strange fighter. He fights going backwards a lot, and it makes him look like he's scared, because in the first fight it looked that way. He's like, oh, why is he walking backwards? And that's when the injury happened in the first fight. But I think that's a way that he tricks the opponents, because normally if you're going backwards, that's a really vulnerable place. But I think he's quick enough to take advantage of that and counter and catch his opponents. So Curtis is going to have to somehow time Aspinall to get him in the striking. Also, Tom Aspinall, he hasn't really gone past the second round in his professional career. So that's all his wins and his 2 defeats as well, but they were way earlier in his career. So there's a few questions, like if Curtis was able to keep this fight going somehow and take him into the 3rd, 4th and 5th rounds, how will Tom look then? Is he going to gas out then? That's the question. But how would Curtis Blaydes do that? How would he take Tom into the 3rd, 4th and 5th round? I think that's the only way. Well, we just don't know if that's an option, like if that is a strategy to beat him, because he has this way of finishing fights, and he's comfortable anywhere because he can fight anywhere. And that's what sets him apart from all the other heavyweights. So this is a tough fight. A lot of people are underestimating Curtis Blaydes. He definitely has a chance to catch Tom. And we saw that Pavlovich caught Tom in that fight, briefly. But Pavlovich didn't capitalize on hurting Tom. So if you show Tom zero respect, that could be a strategy. So if Curtis can go in there and not make it a dog fight, because I don't think that'll really work against... I don't think that'll work against Aspinall, but he's got to show him zero. He's got to show him... If he could come into the fight the way that he did the first fight with the same confidence, this fight could go either way. But if he is coming into this fight giving respect to Aspinall as the champion, and if he gets any of the friendship they have or any of the relationship they have established, then he's going to suffer a loss, I think, and that's not going to help him. But he needs to come into this fight the same way he did the first fight, because Aspinall has a very good way of winning people over on a personal level. You saw him do it to Pavlovich, and it just fucks him up. I'm going to see how fight week goes and see how they interact, and if I feel like Tom Aspinall is kind of doing the alpha thing with Curtis, and Curtis submits to it, then I'll be like, oh fuck, Tom's definitely going to win. But if Curtis sort of stands his ground and doesn't let Tom alpha him, then I think that Curtis Blaydes will have more of a chance. Yeah, so I'm going to watch out for that energy that they're putting out. That aside, I think this is a fight that Tom should win. I think he has more chances to win. I don't think the odds should be that drastic. Curtis Blaydes should probably be plus 200 at the most, plus 150. Yeah, I guess I'll pick Tom to win though, because I just feel like his mental is on point right now. Everything is in place. I just think he has all his ducks in a row, whatever they say. I'm going to pick Tom to win by a second round submission. But I wouldn't bet on this fight because I actually think it's really, anything could really happen. But yeah, watch out for the fight week energy. But yeah, I think Tom by submission. Oh God, I'm excited for this one. Really excited. All right, the main event. Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad for the welterweight title. This is a rematch. The last fight, Leon Edwards poked Belal in the eye. I thought Leon Edwards was trending to win that fight. He rocked Belal in the first round with that head kick or whatever he threw at him, and he was definitely outmatching him in that fight. But Belal has really improved since that first fight. I think Belal has really come into his own. He's really grown into his power in a way. He's really grown into his will, his roots. He's connected with really great guys like Khabib and their camp, and that's had a very, very big impact on him and the way that he carries himself. So his will is very strong. He is going to be tough to finish or demoralize. I don't think he's going to give an inch to Leon. Leon, on the other hand, he's been keeping a bit to himself in a way. I feel like the last couple of fights, it's hard to really know. It's hard to know where he's weak in a way. It's hard to see all of his game because the last fight with Colby was too easy for Leon. So we didn't really get to see much. The fight with Usman as well, he just won. He wasn't ever in danger, so he fought that maybe on 60% as well, or 50%. Well, maybe not 60. But he didn't have to. I feel like he was in complete control. He was in complete control of both of those last fights. The second Usman fight, or the third one he had with Usman, but the second last fight he had. And with Colby, he was in entire control. And so it's hard to know, I guess, what to do that's going to be more effective. But I would say that Belal has the right type of fighting to bring to Edwards. I feel like he's going to make this a scrap, and that's what he needs to do. He needs to bring us the fight that Colby Covington never gave us. I feel like Belal, if he comes in with that, the way that he fought Sean Brady and just makes it a scrap, that's how he's going to get it done. I think he does have a really good chance of getting that done. He's just going to go in there 100%, make it ugly, make it wild, and that is how you get rid of Leon, because technically, skill for skill, you're never going to beat him. But I think Belal's enough of a beast to get it done. I love both these guys too, so part of me really wants to see Leon Edwards consolidate this win, continue his winning streak as a champion. I really want to see someone who's had to really scratch and crawl up to this title fight. Very similar to Leon Edwards' story as well, but I just really want to see him break through. It's been really beautiful to watch Belal Muhammad's story, seeing him connect with Khabib and really express his religion and connect with that, I guess, from the perspective of being in America or wherever he lives, and then sort of embracing his roots more. There's something really powerful about that, regardless of what you believe in or what your roots are. And for me, that's just been such an amazing story. And to see how much confidence he got from Khabib, it's really powerful. So yeah, I think Belal has a legit chance just because of that. I still feel like, yeah, skill for skill, the better fighter is Leon Edwards. But Leon Edwards, you've really got to disrespect him and go in there. And even though, Belal Muhammad's disrespected him with the shit talk, I don't think he really believes it. I think whatever. I don't think it really matters though. I don't think the shit talk matters for Belal or for this fight. Maybe he'll piss off Edwards. I don't really think that even matters either. I feel like Belal's just got to go in there and make it a dogfight and really get in there and go from the beginning. Because if you take the first round off, you probably lost the chance to grab the momentum back. Go in there, make it ugly. Technically, though, even on the ground, I feel like Leon Edwards has the edge, perhaps. Well, he's not a stronger wrestler, but I feel like his submission threat is a little underrated. And because he's got the long legs and arms, I feel like that could help him get a submission. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Leon Edwards go for a submission. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Belal Muhammad get a knockout either, because I feel like for Belal, I think that's the best way for him to beat Edwards, is actually to knock him out. And I think he can if he makes it ugly. It's just really hard for me to choose. I can see Leon Edwards getting a submission win, or I can see Belal Muhammad getting a knockout. I can't really see this fight going the distance. Yeah, I'm going to go with Belal. I just feel like there's something about his story. I'm not going on stats at all. I'm not going on what should happen. This is more of a feeling. I feel like Belal Muhammad's going to get the knockout. Yeah, so I'm going with a KO in the second round. If he just goes out there and makes it a dogfight, I hate to say it because I love Leon and it was so amazing when he won, but oh, there's just something about Belal's story right now. Yeah, so I've got him by knockout. Woo! But yeah, this is a really awesome card. Enjoy fight week, and thanks for coming around. I'll be doing a live reaction video or something like that. Yeah, but thanks for coming by. See you around the traps. Take care.